Listen to me, every second of your life is either moving you closer to your dream or pulling you further away from it. Time is the most valuable resource you've got. But the problem is most people treat it like it's unlimited. You keep walking around like you got all day, all week, all year, like you got 10 lifetimes to do what you were called to do. You don't. You got one life, one shot, and one moment. And that moment is right now. The reason some people win and some people lose is not talent. It's not money. It's not connections. It's because some people know how to value every second. And some people let their time slip through their fingers like sand. You got 86,400 seconds every single day. That's it. And once those seconds are gone, they are never coming back. You can't recycle time. You can't save it. You can't hit rewind. Once the clock moves forward, that moment is history. And yet you spend hours binge watching shows, scrolling through social media, sleeping when you should be grinding, talking about people who can't add any value to your life. You don't even realize what you're wasting. You think you're just killing a little time, but what you're really killing is your future. Because every wasted second is a second you could have invested in your dream. I remember being homeless, living in abandoned buildings, and having nothing but a dream. I didn't have money. I didn't have status. I didn't have people lining up to help me. But what I did have was time, and I decided I wasn't going to waste it. My mind that every second I was alive was going to push me closer to that dream. I started waking up earlier, grinding harder, and staying locked in when everybody else was relaxing. That's why I am where I am today. It wasn't luck. It was because I learned how to maximize every second. And you gotta hear me on this, because this is the difference between winners and losers. Losers spend their time doing things that don't matter. Winners invest their time in things that do. If you wanna be great, you can't afford to waste a single moment. That means when you wake up, you don't hit snooze 10 times. That means when you got an hour, you don't waste it complaining or daydreaming, you use it to execute. That means you stop saying, I'll do it tomorrow, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. All you've got is today. All you got is right now. You see, people always ask me, what's the secret? And I tell them, the secret is in your time. If you want success, look at where your hours are going, because your hours don't lie. You say you want to be successful, but you're spending 3 hours every night watching TV. You say you want to start a business, but you're spending your weekends partying. You say you want to change your life, but you keep wasting time on things that don't add value. Don't tell me you want it if your actions don't match. Show me where your time goes, and I'll show you exactly where your future is headed. Time is not just about productivity, it's about discipline. It's about telling yourself that your dreams matter enough to fight for them every second of the day. Some of you are talented enough to succeed, but you don't have the discipline to value your seconds. You think opportunity is going knock twice. You think you'll always get another chance. But the truth is, sometimes that window closes, and once it closes, it's gone forever. You can't afford to live like time doesn't matter. You gotta stop wasting hours on things that don't align with your purpose. Every second you spend gossiping, procrastinating, hesitating, you're moving further away from your goals. Every second you choose to focus, to grind, to work, you're moving closer. It's that simple. You gotta start treating your time like it's gold, like it's the rarest currency in the world. Because it is. People will spend money recklessly, but at least they know money can be made again. Time. Once it's gone, it's gone. You don't get it back. Imagine if I gave you $86,000 every single day, but I told you that whatever you didn't spend by midnight would disappear. What would you do? You spend every dollar. You make sure not a single cent was wasted. That's exactly how your time works. Every day you get 86,400 seconds, and every night what you don't use is gone forever. And yet, some of you don't even realize you're letting seconds slip away on nonsense. You can't afford to keep wasting time. Not if you want to live the life you've been dreaming of. Not if you want to leave a legacy. Not if you want to be remembered for something greater. The people who change the world, the people who build empires, the people who create legacies, they don't waste time. They guard their time. They maximize their time. They respect their time. You want to be great? You got to start doing the same. Listen to me. Excuses are the number one killers of dreams. Excuses are the lies we tell ourselves so we can stay comfortable. Excuses are the reasons people give up before they even start. And here's the truth. Every time you make an excuse, you're giving yourself permission to fail. You're telling yourself it's okay not to give 100%. You're telling yourself it's fine to settle for average. But you can't have excuses and success in the same place. They don't live together. Either you're gonna make excuses or you're gonna make progress. You can't do both. People always say, I'm too tired, I don't have the resources. I don't have the right background. I don't have the right connections. I hear it all the time. But let me tell you something. Nobody cares about your excuses. The world is not gonna stop spinning because you're tired. The world is not going to wait because you didn't get the perfect start. Life doesn't stop because you don't feel like it. You either show up and make it happen or you stay where you are. Excuses will keep you in the same place year after year while other people pass you by because they refuse to give themselves an out. You've got to stop blaming your past, your parents, your environment, your lack of money. I was homeless, eating out of trash cans with no father in my life and no one telling me I could be great. I had every reason to make excuses. I could have said, you can't make it. You don't have the resources. You don't have the support. But I chose not to. I chose to kill the excuses and make it happen anyway because excuses don't change your life. Execution does. Excuses don't build your future. Effort does. Excuses don't feed your family, sacrifice does. You gotta make up in your mind that you will not accept excuses from yourself anymore. Stop saying I'll do it when I feel ready. Stop saying I don't have time. You got time? You've got time. You just don't have priorities. Stop saying it's too hard. Of course it's hard. Well, of course it's hard, but that's the point. If it were easy, everybody would do it. Greatness requires struggle. And if you keep using struggle as an excuse to quit, you'll never know what's on the other side of that pain. Excuses are the comfort zone's best friend. They let you stay lazy and uncommitted while tricking you into thinking you're doing your best. You're not doing your best if you're making excuses. Your best shows up when you keep going, even though you're tired. Your best shows up when you push through, even when you don't feel like it. Your best shows up when you don't look for a way out, but instead look for a way to make it happen. Some of you are so creative when it comes to making excuses, you could write a book. I don't have the right equipment. Well, I don't have the right degree. I don't have the support. Let me help you. Nobody started with everything. The most successful people started with less than you, but they refused to let excuses be the reason they didn't try. They worked with what they had until they earned more. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They created their own conditions. And that's what you gotta do. Stop waiting for perfect and start working with what you got. You gotta understand something. Every excuse you make is stealing from your future. Every time you say, I can't, you're locking a door that could have led you to your dream. Every time you say, not now, you're pushing back your own blessing. Every time you say it's too hard, you're giving away your strength before you even tested it. You are better than your excuses. You are stronger than your excuses. You are more capable than your excuses. But you gotta believe it. And you got to stop letting those excuses hold you hostage. Listen, nobody is coming to rescue you from your excuses. Nobody's gonna force you to stop. That's your job. You gotta look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm done lying to myself. I'm done giving myself a pass. I'm done letting excuses run my life. You gotta hold yourself accountable. You gotta demand more from yourself. You've got to push yourself past the point of comfort and convenience and decide that nothing will stop you. Not your past, not your pain, not your environment, not your excuses. When you kill the excuses, you give birth to possibilities. When you stop saying, I can, you start figuring out how you can. When you stop saying, I don't have enough, you start learning how to maximize what you do have. When you stop saying it's too late, you realize you still have time to turn it around if you start right now. You start right now. The excuses are a chain around your neck, keeping you from moving forward. Cut that chain. Free yourself. Because as long as you're making excuses, you're choosing failure. Listen to me. One of the biggest reasons people never reach their potential is because they spend their energy on everything except the things that actually matter. You say you want to be successful, but your actions don't line up with your words. You give your time, your attention, your focus to distractions, to nonsense, to things that don't build your future, and then you wonder why you're stuck in the same place. You can't expect greatness when you're divided. You can't expect success when your mind is scattered. If you want to get to the next level, you got to learn how to focus, and not just on anything. You got to focus on what matters. Some of you are chasing too many things at once. You're trying to do everything, so you end up doing nothing well. You got a dream, but it's buried under hours of scrolling on your phone, under nights wasted watching shows, under conversations with people who don't even care about your growth, and you don't even realize it. But every distraction is stealing from your purpose. Every time you give energy to things that don't matter, you're robbing the things that do. Focus is not just about saying yes to the right things. It's about saying no to the wrong ones. The truth is, distractions will always be there. Social media isn't going anywhere. Parties aren't going anywhere. People who want to gossip and waste your time aren't going anywhere. The question is, will you have the discipline to cut them off when it's time to grind? Will you have the clarity to know what deserves your energy and what doesn't? Because if you don't, you'll waste years chasing things that have no return while your real goals sit on the shelf collecting dust. You got to prioritize your life. Ask yourself every single day, is this pushing me closer to my dream or pulling me further away? If it's pulling you away, you don't have time for it. It's that simple. You can't say you want to be successful and then spend hours doing things that don't produce success. You can't say you want financial freedom and then waste your money on things that don't bring value. You can't say you want to be great and then surround yourself with people who don't want to be anything. Your focus determines your future. When I was homeless, when I had nothing, my focus was all I had. I didn't have money, I didn't have support, but I had focus. I locked in on my goal of getting that degree, of changing my life, and I refused to let anything pull me off course. While other people were partying, I was studying. While other people were sleeping in, I was grinding. While other people were giving excuses, I was giving effort. And that's why I made it out. Not because I was smarter, not because I was more talented, but because I knew how to focus on what mattered. And I need you to hear me. If you don't control your focus will be controlled for you. If you don't decide what matters most in your life, the world will decide for you. Advertisements, distractions, entertainment, everything is fighting for your attention. But the people who win in life are the ones who guard their attention and invest it where it counts. They don't let the world tell them what's important. They know their priorities, they know their vision, and they stay locked in until they see it through. Some of you can't get to the next level because you're too focused on people. You care too much about what everybody else is doing. You're watching their lives, comparing yourself, wishing you had what they had, instead of locking in on what you need to do. Stop watching them and start watching yourself. Stop wasting time worrying about what people think and start focusing on building something that people will respect. Every second you spend comparing is a second you're not creating. Every second you spend watching them is a second you're not working on you. Focus also requires sacrifice. You can't do everything and be everything and be everybody. If you want to be successful, some things are going to have to go. Maybe it's less time hanging out. Maybe it's less time on entertainment. Maybe it's even cutting ties with people who are holding you back. That's the price of focus. You've got to decide what matters most to you and then be willing to let go of the things that don't align. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But that's the price of greatness. Every champion, every leader, every success story you admire, they all mastered focus. They weren't the most talented, but they were locked in. They weren't the most gifted, but they gave their attention to what mattered. They tuned out the noise, they blocked out the distraction, and they dedicated their time to building something bigger than themselves. That's the secret. It's not luck, it's not magic, it's focus. Listen to me. You've got to stop moving through life like you got forever. You don't. The clock is ticking, and every second that passes is a second you'll never see again. You keep thinking you got time, but you don't know how much you've got left. That's why you gotta work with urgency. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel like it, right now. Successful people don't treat time like it's cheap. They treat it like it's the most valuable currency in the world. Because it is, and when they go after something, they go after it with urgency, like their life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. The difference between those who win and those who lose is not always talent or intelligence. Sometimes it's just speed. The winners move faster. They don't hesitate. They don't procrastinate. They don't keep waiting for the right moment. They act, they move, they execute. And because they act with urgency, they're always steps ahead of everybody else who's still thinking about it. Some of you have been thinking about your dream for years, but you haven't done anything about it. You've been talking about writing that book, starting that business, finishing that degree, changing your life, and you're still talking. At some point, you gotta stop talking and start moving. Working with urgency doesn't mean being frantic. It means being intentional. It means waking up every single day and attacking the day like it's your last chance to prove yourself. It means you stop wasting your morning, you stop wasting your weekend, you stop wasting your weekend, you stop wasting your opportunity. It means you give 120% effort every time because you don't know if you'll get another shot. Some of you are working like you'll always have another chance, but the truth is you may not. And if you knew this was your last opportunity, how different would your effort be? Think about it like this. When somebody is running out of time on the clock, their intensity changes. If you've ever watched a basketball game, you know the last 2 minutes are played differently. The players move faster, the energy is higher, the focus is sharper. Why? Because they know the clock is running out. That's how you've got to treat your life. Stop moving like you're in the first quarter. Start moving like the clock is ticking down. Start working with that kind of urgency, because in reality it is. I remember being in school, working on my degree, and I didn't have the luxury of wasting time. I had a family to take care of, bills to pay, dreams to chase. I didn't have the option to procrastinate. I couldn't wait until I felt like studying or until the conditions were perfect. I had to grind every day, even when I was tired, even when I didn't feel like it, even when it hurt. And the reason I pushed through is because I understood urgency. I understood that if I didn't give everything I had in the moment, that opportunity might never come again. That mindset is what got me out of where I was and into the life I have now. Some of you are talented, but talent without urgency is wasted potential. You got gifts, but you're sitting on it. You got dreams, but you're moving too slow. You think you can wait until tomorrow, but tomorrow is not promised. Stop living like you got unlimited time. You don't. Don't stop waiting until you're ready. You'll never feel fully ready. Stop waiting until everything is perfect, because nothing will ever be perfect. The only time you've got is now. And the only way to win is to move now. Urgency also changes the way you work. When you have urgency, you don't just show up. You show up prepared. You don't just do the minimum, you give everything. You don't just go through the motions. You execute with precision and passion. People with urgency don't let opportunities pass them by. They see a chance and they take it. They don't wait for somebody to hand it to the thing. They create it. They fight for it. They claim it. Some of you think you got time to play around, but the truth is somebody else is out there grinding for the same dream you want. And while you're hesitating, while you're waiting, while you're procrastinating, they're moving. They're working with urgency, and they're going to take the spot you thought was yours. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you earn. And if you're not willing to work with urgency, somebody else will. And they'll take the life you were supposed to live. Every day you delay is a day you can't get back. Every moment you waste is a moment you'll never see again. Working with urgency is about respecting your time enough to not throw it away. It's about recognizing that the only moment you truly own is right now. And what you do with it will determine everything about your future. You gotta move like your dream is on the line. Because it is. Listen to me, some of you are stuck because you keep waiting for the perfect moment. You keep telling yourself, I'll start when I've got more money. I'll start when I feel ready. I'll start when the timing is right. And that's the reason you've been in the same place for years. There is no perfect moment. There will never be a time when everything lines up, when all the conditions are just right. when you feel 100% ready. If you're waiting for perfect, you're waiting for something that doesn't exist. The truth is, the only perfect time to start is right now. The people who succeed aren't the ones who had everything handed to them. They aren't the ones who waited until everything was ideal. They're the ones who started where they were, with what they had, and they made it work. They figured it out along the way. They adjusted as they went. They failed, they stumbled, but they kept moving. And that's why they got to the top. You can't be afraid of starting small. You can't be afraid of making mistakes. That's part of the process. Waiting for perfect is just another excuse to procrastinate. Some of you have been talking about your dream for years, but you haven't taken one step toward it because you keep saying you're not ready. Let me tell you something. You'll never feel fully ready. You'll never feel completely prepared. There will always be something missing. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be fear. But if you let that stop you, you'll die with your dream still inside you. You've got to be willing to step out even when it's not perfect. You got to be willing to move forward even when you don't have all the answers. I remember when I started speaking, I didn't have the right suit, I didn't have the right equipment, I didn't have the right connections, but I had passion and I had a message, and I decided that was enough. I didn't wait until everything looked polished. I didn't wait until everything looked polished. I didn't wait until I had all the resources. I used what I had, and I got better along the way. That's how greatness is built, not by waiting, but by starting. If I had waited for perfect, you wouldn't even know my name today. You gotta understand that the pursuit of perfection is a trap. It keeps you from ever making a move. You say you're just being careful, but in reality, you're being fearful. You say you're just preparing, but in reality, you're procrastinating. And the more you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Because now you've built up this idea in your head that everything has to be flawless. And if it's not flawless, it's failure. But that's a lie. Failure is not starting at all. Failure is sitting on the sidelines waiting for something that's never gonna come. Life rewards action, not perfection. Nobody is looking for you to be flawless. People wanna see your authenticity. They wanna see your effort. They wanna see your growth. You don't inspire people by being perfect. You inspire them by being real. And the only way to get better is to start messy, to start imperfect, to start scared, and keep working until you improve. Every expert was once a beginner. Every professional was once an amateur. Every success story started with somebody who was willing to take that first imperfect step. Stop telling yourself you'll start when you've got more time. The truth is, you'll never have more time. You'll make time for what matters. Stop telling yourself you'll start when you got more money. If you're waiting for money, you'll never start. Because money comes when you move, not before. Stop telling yourself you'll start when you feel confident. Confidence doesn't come before you start. Confidence comes after you start. You've got to earn it through action. The longer you wait, the more opportunities you let slip through your fingers. Think about all the ideas, all the inventions, all the books, all the businesses that never came to life because somebody was waiting for perfect. Think about all the people who died with potential still inside them because they thought they weren't ready. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. Don't let fear of imperfection steal your future. Don't let hesitation keep you from what you were born to do. When you stop waiting for perfect, you give yourself permission to grow. You give yourself permission to learn. You give yourself permission to make mistakes and get better. That's how progress works. You start, you stumble, you adjust, you improve. And before you know it, you're further ahead than the person who's still waiting for the perfect condition. Every step you take, no matter how imperfect, is better